would you have been playing that Sunderland game? Because your Brentford team beat Sunderland in the FA Cup. Giant killing. Would you have been playing?
I was injured, but I remember it being a pretty big upset.
Yeah.
DJ Campbell.
Yeah, it was a special time for us, of course. You know, from a team that was going to get relegated the year before, and then to climb like we did, and to play a club like Sunderland with the history. That's my dog,
Dennis is up, by the way.
That's a dog, not by the way. That's a dog, not me, man.
Keep him away from him.
Yeah.
No, he likes these dog treats. What is it? It's coming up to 4 o'clock. So normally he has a little handful at tea time. It was a special. It was a special day, you know, to beat Sunderland live on TV. Mick McCarthy, some of the players, we've been watching them on the Premier League, and it's just special.
What was Mick like after that?
It was fine. Came in, said, "Well done." We were good though. We had some really good players, and with DJ Campbell, we had a match winner.
Yeah,
and our game plan was pretty simple, pretty straightforward.
Are they not as nice as what the dogs make them look? Them biscuits.
You want one, didn't you?
Thinking about trying one.
Salivating.
Lovely. We had a game plan that all 10 players would stay close together and we would not be stretched and opened up by their more talented players and get it to Campbell as quick as he could. And for him, do whatever you like. All of the rest of us play compact and stay together. Get it to Campbell. And we put it all on him. And he absolutely loved it. He absolutely had license to be the man. We set it up for him to be the golden boy.
And
in training.
You'd not played with him like this in games previous? In the league games running up to it?
Was he always the man?
He wasn't always in the team. He'd just come out from non-league. That biscuit was horrible. Can't have a drink. I thought that'd be quite funny to eat that. I thought it'd be quite amusing, like, just eat the dog biscuit. Oh. But I just read the box over there, and it's cow udder and spinach.
It's a delicacy in some countries.
Oh, load of bollocks. No, so we gave him license to play and perform, and all the players knew because we'd been seeing it in training. It's quite a good story, really. When I got told by a guy called John Griffin, God bless him, God rest his soul, who was my scout, not my scout, the club scout, that there was a player at Yeading called Campbell, who a friend of his had told him he's good. So John Griffin, as his job, is to come into the office and say, I'm going to go and watch this player play. But I've heard he's really good. So I said, yeah, fine, whatever you want, Griff, whatever's good, let me know. So I went off to a game on a Tuesday night, and 8:30, 7:45 kickoff. At 8:30, my phone went. Griff, which is unusual for him to call me at half-time in a game. So you normally network in the scouts lounge, if you know what I'm saying. Griff, you all right? Yep. Where are you? And I don't know where I was, but I was at a game, and he said, Gaffer, he said, we need to sign this player. I said, oh, right. He said, we need to sign him as quick as possible because there's a lot of clubs here tonight. He said, you need to get him in here and get this deal done. So I knew the manager of Yeading. So I left a text message with him at half time. He's the manager of DJ's team. Can you call me, please, as soon as the game finishes? And Drax, his name, he took Yeading, if you like, to that game against QPR in the FA Cup quite a few years ago at Loftus Road, before the name changed. So I rang him after. He rang me back afterwards. I said, how much do you want? Blah, blah, blah. He said, he's desperate to come. I said, get him to the club tomorrow. I never even seen him play. And I just went on Griff's advice.
It's all Griff's fault. It was fucking Griff.
So I obviously spoke to Griff later and he said, it's definitely worth it. 10 grand. Just get him. Just get him. Give him a sell on. Just get him. I said, what's the lad like? He said, I don't know. He said, just get him. So we got him to come in the next day with his agent at 1 o'clock at Griffin Park. And at Griffin Park, they've got a nice boardroom with one of those long wooden tables, you know, posh as shit. So I was sitting there, my collar and tie on and looking smart, and so was Griff. We always used to make sure we had a white shirt on and a nice suit whenever we had players or agents to make us look good at Brentford, if you know what I mean. And knock on the door, agent comes in, DJ comes in with his top button was undone, his next button was undone, and his tie on his white shirt was down here. And he had a suit on, but it was like...
Like a bag of shit.
But he had a lovely smile. He had a lovely smile as he came in. He had a, you know... bit nervous. Agent sits opposite me and Griff. And I said, how you doing? Good, well done last night. I heard you scored 2 or 3 goals. So well done. And it was Griff that's picked you out. So we'll be good. We can get this done today. I said, right, here's the contract. And I opened my folder. I said, for the first year, you're going to be on, he won't mind me saying, I think it was something like £300 a week. £200 a goal and £200 every time you start. And if you make 10 appearances, it will all go up by another £100 each time. If you do well, we'll go on to this. Then if you get sold, you're going to get 20% of the sell-on, which is a good incentive for you. And we'll also give to your old club another 20%, 10%, whatever. So it all balances out well for you. He went, oh, yeah. Yeah, great. The agent said, we ain't signing for that. You ain't signing. He's signing. He said, we're not signing for that. I said, you just got that wrong. You ain't playing, it's him. If he wants to sign it, he'll sign it. He said, he's not going to sign for that. I said, okay. And I slammed my folder. I said, thank you very much then. You can go. He got up and he walks out of the boardroom, gets to the door, and DJ's halfway between staying and going.
Should I stay or should I go? And he's part-time here. He must be part-time here, isn't it?
He was driving a white van delivering parcels around Heathrow Airport. Old, battered old white escort van.
Did you see in his eyes straight away that if his agent's not there, he's give me the pen?
So it all went quiet. He went out the door. Griff said, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I said, he'll be back. Because the player's desperate to sign. He can't keep driving a van, delivering parcels. He'll be back. We'll get a deal done, don't worry. 2 minutes later, come in. The door opens and a little head creeps round the corner. Like that. Can we come in? I said, DJ, of course you can. DJ came in first and the agent came in behind him, sat down. So DJ said, can you give us just a little bit more? So I said, yeah. But not a lot more. Because if you do well, DJ, you're going to earn a lot of money. A lot of money. And you can do well. I've never even seen him play. So, all right then. So I gave him a bit more money on everything. The agent was sitting there like, the agent's never spoke to me since, which is fine. And then DJ signed. He turned up at training the next day. All the players at Brentford had to be in at 9:45. He was there at 9:15. All the players used to go home about 1:30, 2 o'clock. He was still there at 3 o'clock. You'd look out on the pitch at your office. There'd be a bag of balls of the youth team goalkeeper and he'd be smashing them in the corner. And I'd have to call him out, DJ, come in, DJ. And he'd come running over. Right, I said, yeah, what you doing? He said, doing shooting. I said, yeah, but we done shooting this morning. He went, I know. He said, I don't normally get home till 6:30. He said, I ain't going home now. I said, well, training finished at 12:30. He said, yeah, but what am I going to do all day? He said, I ain't sitting around. He said, I might as well do this. Guess what? He used to do that every day. So all the other lads would kind of go home when you would. But he just loved it. He absolutely loved it. And of course, when it came to that game against Sunderland, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
Here's one for you. Who was the first, whether you were as assistant or a manager, first player to test you, to take the piss and disrespect you, if any?
I don't really think there has been any. Keith Scott at Reading was a challenge when I first got there, but he was part of the team that kept losing every week. And I'm sure underneath, behind it all, he was a nice guy, but he really wasn't overly bothered with the training and the work and coming in early. But I'd also had the displeasure of watching him play. And so,
What about
to be a dick, and you've at least got to be good, haven't you?
What about the philosophy though? Because I mean, with some of the stories we've heard, I mean, Albie again, running through a bush. I think he told us about if you're with us, you're going to come through it. There must have been players who you've struggled to get to buy into some of the more mad hat ideas, should we say?
did I run through a bush?
So we've been led to believe.
Yeah, I did. It wasn't a bush. It was a hedge.
A hedge. Tight knit as well.
Yeah, it's a stubborn one, isn't it, to get through?
Thorns?
It was one of those with thorns in, but from 25 yards away, as you're jogging around the training ground, I couldn't see the thorns.
Go on, lads.
And by the time you've seen them, you've committed.
Yes. And Braveheart says, come on. Because MK that was also a club in a transition. They'd had 2 relegations and there'd been a huge amount of criticism. And it was like, I thought it was like a party boys club. They'd wear their shirts all open. They'd have sunglasses on. They'd have all the chains and the watches and all the stuff I hate. The ties would be down here, and it was relegation and nice cars, and it was all the stuff that I just thought reeks of failure. So we had to make it more humble and more disciplined and more focused, and I had to be unpopular, unfortunately, and to turn it round. So some of those things, I did run through a bush. And as you're going through a bush with a pair of shorts on and a t-shirt on, and you get in and you feel all those fucking things going in you, and you can't turn round and come back.
Can you imagine if you did?
There's 20 of them.
Forget that, lads.
There's 20 of them players looking at me from behind, grinning, like, fucking hell. And I got to the other side, and those thorny bushes that we see on the side of the A roads, it was one of them, like with little white flowers at this time of year, but they're all prickly, and the prickles are fucking prickles. But the problem and the dilemma I had was once I'd got to the other side, I still had to get back. And that was the problem. I said to them, whoa, don't come through. So I'm on the other side, covered. They're everywhere, jabs. But I've still got to get back. I thought, how am I going to do it? So I had to run along the thing, come through some woods and come back out. And they're all like going, oh my God. No, that was a mad moment, that one.
Could you just hear your dad going, don't let them see you hurt?
Yeah.
There's no way I was going to pull back. And it was the same with that much publicised, when I swam across that river. They'd have been talking about it, the players in a pre-match thing on a Friday afternoon away at Hartlepool. When I swam across the river, did you know about that?
Yeah, it's cold up there as well, isn't it, Hartlepool?
And they hadn't won away from home, Brentford, all season, and Hartlepool were in the playoff positions. It was a sunny afternoon, coming up to about 3:30 when the kids were coming out from school. And we just got up there from London, had a warm down on this little field, and Stuart Talbot, the captain, was proper decent bloke, and Scott Fitzgerald, the defender, Londoner, cocky. They were talking about going in the river for £1 a man. And I was, as the manager, on the first away game, was Brentford manager, about 15 yards away. And I was watching them, and they were doing this warm-up and just loosening off a load of old crap, really. And in the end, I turned round with a bit of a face on and said, well, if you say you're going to flipping get in it, fucking get in it, get in it. Stop talking about it. They jogged off. They jogged back. They started to do some more stretching. And then Stuart Talbot, the captain, said, Gaffer? No. I said, if you say you're going to do it, if you say you're going to swim it, get in and swim it. I'll do it. If you all put £1 a man in, I'll do it. I'll show you. They all jogged off, and I'm stood there and I'm thinking, fucking hell, what a mistake. I'm looking at the river. It's about 20 yards wide. Not even that, probably. I tell people it's 30 yards wide, but it wasn't. So they all bounced back, and Talbot, first thing he says was, yeah, we're all going to pay £1, and the staff's 24 quid. You swim it then. Like with an attitude and a smile on his face. So I said, yeah, of course I will. You finish what you're doing, and I'll do it. They're all giggling and laughing, which was pretty good as a manager to get your players to laugh. They came back, said, right, we're ready. So I took off my top. I'm bare top. I've got a pair of shorts on, got my socks on. I start running down the side of the riverbank, and it was 3:30 when all the school kids are coming out from the school. It was just at the top of the road. So all these girls and boys are walking along, and I'm jogging through them about 50 yards down, crossed the bridge, jogged back across, and I'm now facing them across the river. So the whole Brentford squad's looking at me, like smiling, thinking, what a tosser. And they're staring across, thinking, oh my God, is he going to do it? And you know, when you're going to get in a cold swimming pool, when you go on holiday, you go, you know, that little like, oh my God, shit. And I'm stood on the side looking in, and there's all reeds coming up the side of the water and little holes with mice and rats and all that stuff, which I don't like. I can't say no. I just went and dived in, or jumped in, because I didn't know how deep it was, and just swam as hard as I could to get to the other side. When I got there, it was all muddy coming up the bank, the side of the bank, through the reeds and the Coke bottles and the crisp packets.
Oh, like Pearl Harbor, isn't it?
Through.
Condom on your finger.
Yeah. So I got out the other side, pulled myself up, and like Rambo-ish, I said, if you say you're going to fucking swim it, now fucking get in and swim it. They're all stood there absolutely pissing themselves with laughter, because it kind of was funny. And I ran as fast as I could back up to the hotel. Not a posh hotel, just like some old shithole. As I pulled up into the car park of the hotel, there was a coach called, it was a creamy coloured coach. You may or may not know this. It was called Wallace Arnold. So there was a big W with an A on the back. What you may or may not know is those buses used to take people on tours around the country. So I got to the hotel, opened the doors to go into reception, and there's 45 American tourists with blue rinses in their suitcases queuing up to check into the hotel that had come off the coach. I'm covered in mud from my waist down, wet, soaked through, covered in shit. And they've turned round, they've seen me stood there, and I'm going, fucking hell. I was so embarrassed. I said, excuse me, can I have my key, please? I just pushed straight to the front. Can I have my key, please? Give me my key.
I just imagine you leaving this big puddle.
These are blue rinse Americans are saying, what the fuck is happening here?
Swamp thing.
Comes to 7 o'clock, all the players are down for dinner, normal, standard stuff. Got to 7:05. I went in nice and quietly. They've all looked round, smiling. I've got my club tracksuit on. And they all laughed. And I said, have you got my money? So the captain gave me the money. I put the 24 quid in my pocket.
Pound coins.
Yeah. Made a point of this. I said, if you say you're going to swim it, you get in and fucking swim it. And we're playing for money. Paused, walked out, left it. Quiet like this. So 7:30, normal. The coach goes into the dining room. Captain says, what time are we having a team meeting tomorrow? What's the rules? Coach says, everyone's got to be in their rooms by 9. No one's allowed out of their rooms by 9 o'clock. You've all got to be in your rooms. Don't mind you having a coffee up to 9. That's fine. Rooms by 9. No team meeting tomorrow. No team meeting? Nope. So they're all sitting there thinking, fucking hell. The next morning, the coach and the physio go down with the kit man to the porter cabin at Hartlepool, changing room. And what, but there was a shop called Pronto Print. Pronto Print was opening at 9 o'clock where we were staying, wherever that was. So they went there, the pair of them, and they got printed on posters. If you say you're going to swim it, then swim it. And they got about 50 made. So when they went down to do the kit man's doing all the stuff and putting all the kit out, as you do. And they, with blue tack and sellotape, put all these posters all around the porter cabin. I sat at the front of the coach on the way to the game and didn't say one word. It was totally silent. And they'd seen my face. Hartlepool hadn't lost all season at home. And Brentford had not won away from home all season. We were like 7 points behind relegation, behind that line. We won 2-1. When the players went into the dressing room off the team coach, when you go in the dressing room and they saw it all like this, they were like, oh my God. And I stayed away from them. I didn't talk to them. I just left them. We just let them go out and play.
No team talk pre-game?
No, nothing. I don't always do that. I don't always believe in that, because you can have one brilliant week, 1 week about playing Liverpool, say, and the next week you've got to play Rochdale, with all due respect to Rochdale. So I'm not sure you can get that balance right. You can't have a Churchillian type speech to play Liverpool and then to Rochdale the next week you're going to be thinking, flipping out, what am I going to say this week?
Yeah.
So sometimes I think it's better to come from the training pitch, give them their jobs, explain what you want them to do, now go out and get on with it. Then I've been like that for a few years now. But that Hartlepool thing, people said he's fucking mental to dive in the river. But I can understand, but there was a purpose to it. I didn't plan it. It just happened and it just came into my brain as quick as that.
Yeah, so something that starts off as a laugh has then turned into a thing about preparing for a game and just, right, lads, on you go. Get the signs up.
But to take that moment of, right, do you know what, I'm going to show them, I'm going to jump in the river, but then the forward, we can actually use this as a tool.
Yeah.
To then get the posters printed, put them up, so then it does become a tool, doesn't it?
But if you say you're going to do it, do it. Because there's an urgency to it. If you are going to do it. This all got arranged just a couple of days ago. And the next thing I had was a message from you. We're booked into Airbnb. We're all sorted. We're coming down. This is going to be a great. And you've come here. You're all prepared. You're all ready. Apart from you. This is how to do it, isn't it? This has all been done. You've put this together in 2 days. So it says a lot, doesn't it? You've delivered. You have delivered.
So do you know when you get into your room and you've dried off, you've had your shower and you phone the wife? You never guess what I've fucking done this time. What have you done now, Martin? I've swum across the fucking river. She must be like, no way.
Well, it's weird. I have been, I think you mentioned it earlier. Sometimes I can be funny and have a good laugh and mess about with the best of them. There's other days where I have a serious, straight face and wake up at 5:30 in the morning, take the dog for a walk, and my mind is in a different place. different place, and is totally focused to try to win matches, prepare to win games, prepare the players to win games, prepare the players to do their best. And I suppose to win 2 championships and get into the playoffs 5 or 6 times, you can't be that mad.
Done something right.
Is it? Obviously, that was off the cuff, the Hartlepool one. There was the one with the Nottingham derby. Was that when did you think up that
How
whole
do you know about
thing?
that?
I thought it was well publicised.
What happened at Notts County when we played Forest?
Yeah.
Do you know about that at all?
I've heard a whisper.
On the street.
Oh, I didn't know you knew about that. Notts County Stadium or ground is very close to the River Trent. Big river, a nice footpath next to it. So before games, I always used to walk my old dog Monty pre-game along there a few hours before the match to calm me and clear me. And then after the games, whatever the result, I always used to take the dog along that walkway after the games as a calmer, whatever the result. And just across the river, obviously you can see what I classed when I lived there and worked there was the opposition. They don't like each other. And if I work for Notts County, I also don't like them. I'm fine with them now, of course, at Notts Forest. But you hate them. I hated them. And when we drew them in the cup, I just absolutely loved it. And I'd been to see them a few times play. And I thought with the spirit and what we had, I thought we could beat them. I told the players that. And we practiced to win. And we've done everything we could to try to win the game preparation-wise. And then when I was at Brentford, I always used to make a lot of videos for the players at Brentford, funny videos showing players individual highlights. So perhaps a couple of goals you scored or bits that you'd done really well. And I used to put little clips together. And then I'd perhaps come to a player and just put, oh, sorry, couldn't get a clip because you've done fuck all. On the way to the game, funny stuff like that, just to break the ice and make people giggle, which is good for their karma before a football match. And I'd made videos, a lot of videos with a brilliant analyst that I had at Brentford. And then with that one at the Trent, I met him there about 5:30 in the morning. Fair play to him. And what was it? I think the plan was we were going to leave Notts County's ground at, let's for argument's sake, 6:30 to get there. It's a 10-minute drive at 10:02 for the kick-off an hour later. So the timing, because of traffic and everything, we had it all planned. And the idea was I was going to take all my gear off, swim in the river with my shorts on, video it, and as I come back out, I said, have no fear, or something like this. Have no fear. When we come back here, and the stand was right behind me, the badge on the back of the stand is right on the side of the river. When we come back here, we're going to fucking beat them. And I was soaking wet and freezing cold. I'm like, fat pot belly. We're going to come back here and we're going to fucking win. We're fucking win. So that was all videoed, put together with a bit of music. It's packed with traffic outside when we left the stadium. We turned round the corner just before we got to the bridge and we popped the video on. Stony silent, nervous players. Chaps, we should be crossing the bridge. This is me talking on the team coach video. Chaps, we should be crossing the bridge now into enemy territory. Very soon, we will win this game of football. And when we come back over this bridge, we are going to be so happy and so jubilant. Words like that. I said, I've made this little video for you just to show you how much I believe in you. Then the video comes on of me diving in the fucking river. So there was all supporters outside the coach. There's no other traffic, just us with Notts County fans everywhere on the side of our coach. And the players are looking at me, taking my top off, and then diving in the river. And it was so cold. And I go, and I can hear all the players loving it. And at the end, I said, "You are going to fucking win. We are going to fucking win." And we got off the coach, went into the game, and we played unbelievably well. And it was only that bloody Wes Morgan, nice guy. He hit a 35-yarder. Can you believe Wes Morgan?
No, I can't.
Wes Morgan hit a 35-yard shot into the top corner to equalise, which took it to penalties, and we lost on penalties. I mean, Wes Morgan's never hit a shot in 35 years.
I can't remember him kicking the ball 35 yards straight for a long time.
No, it's the first time ever he's kicked the ball straight. And I've seen him a couple of times, and I've looked at him, and I just shake my head. I never smile and just give him the glare, like, you fucking. I don't ever say. But no, it was a magnificent night. We played fantastically well, and the players were superb, absolutely superb. It was a special night.
There's a question here. I'll read it out. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But ask him about making Cheltenham players train for set pieces using pieces of toast and heading them at a TV.
Yeah,
True.
yes.
Just a nod. Just a nod.
Yeah, we did that. We didn't have a football. We didn't have anywhere to prepare, so we did it in the hotel dining room. We moved the chairs to make near post and far post. We made some candlesticks to be corner flags, put the players in position, in swingers, out swingers. Yeah, easy. And then
Slinging the toast in?
Yeah. Well done, though. Not soft. You don't have soft toast. Notts County, the first one. I got the job the day before, so we're on the way down to Yeovil. Didn't know anyone, really. The players picked the team. I didn't know what to say or do. Who do you reckon should be playing? And they put it together. And on the way down, I wrote out some set plays. So we'd done it at the services down at Bristol in the car park. All the players are like looking around going, really? Well, we've got to do some set plays, haven't we? Defending set plays, free kicks, corners, blah, blah. So we were doing it. You know the lines in the car park, in the coach park, they're wider, aren't they? So if you do 3 of them, you've got an 18-yard box.
Was that the time with the apple at Yeovil?
How'd you know about that?
See?
Yeah, we did bits with the apple. I think I ate an apple, didn't I? Something.
You put an apple in the middle?
No,
Yeah.
we had a yoga teacher in. That was it. We had a yoga teacher in, and Barnet were going to Yeovil. We were good at the time under Gary Johnson, very good. And so there's 2 ways you can go about it in my mind. You can pay them loads of compliments, and hopefully they get a little bit. Oh yeah, he thinks we're really good. Which I did, and to soften them up a bit. Does that make sense?
Come to think of it, we've
Yeah.
an easy game.
Yeah, that's it. Can't see us winning. They're too good for us. Blah blah blah. Great, really good manager. They never lose a game. Da, 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 da. So I did all this sort of stuff non-stop. Then added the yoga bit in. Then the apple bit, and then we were 4-0 down in 20 minutes.
They were a good side.
Did everyone have to go in the middle to take a bite of the apple?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because it was green apple when they play in green. Something like that. Wasn't
So there was a method.
No, it didn't work.
Doesn't always
They
work.
can't all work, can they? They can't all work.
Some of the stuff on here, like.
Do you remember the Milton Keynes Christmas party? The salt and pepper shaker?
Yeah.
When the lights went
Was it-
off.
Snowball fight with the polystyrene balls?
Yeah, that happened.
Yes!
Confirmed.
Get in.
Oh, go on then.
Could
tell me.
could you relay us? Could you remember? No?
Well, it was a Christmas party with all the players. I think with their wives there.
Yeah.
Wives there as well.
Yeah, I like Christmas parties because I think the wives of the players deserve and earn the opportunity to have a Christmas party. I think it's the right thing to do. And I think they have an important part to play. So we set this thing up. The players and their wives or girlfriends get a new dress, come out, Christmas thing. It's always something good to look forward to. But I bought these white polystyrene things that you had to throw them around the room or blow them like this, and you could fire them at people. But they don't hurt. But if you put them in red wine and then blow them, and the ball comes, the red wine splats everywhere. So someone's, I don't know if it was me.
So there's going to be red wine on people's new dresses.
So then you break the ice and say, well, good evening, everybody. It's great for you all to be here. Lovely to see you all. Ladies, you all look fantastic tonight. It's our Christmas party. Everyone have a good time. Make the most of it and let's have a good crack. These are on the table. They're called breaking the ice type of things. You pick these up, you put them in this and go, and you can just fire them around to everybody. So everybody's a little bit worried, obviously, because they're not sure about a Christmas party and if it can all kick off and be funny. So I started off, so one goes, and then my next one went into the red wine. And all of a sudden, the red wine's going, where's that come from? And then the salt and pepper started going as well. So it was just carnage.
Lights off.
I think the lights went down as well. So the salt and pepper cellars were being emptied everywhere. And the balls were going everywhere. And then, as you do on company functions, the caterers, to make it easier for themselves, instead of having a bread basket, they put a bread roll on the side of everyone's place. Does that make sense? So then the next thing, the bread rolls came out and the bread rolls were going everywhere. The salt and pepper was going everywhere. These balls were going everywhere. Then drinks started going everywhere. We hadn't even had the dinner. The geezer through running it weren't happy. I don't think. So no, that was fun. That was really good fun.
There was bloodshed, we heard.
And I was what?
Bloodshed.
Was there?
Woman down.
Woman down,
Someone got hit in the head with a salt and pepper shaker.
Claret.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Oh, I can't remember that.
Oh, it wasn't red wine down a dress.
It was probably me. Guilty. I'd probably have to. But those things, they can galvanise as long as it's kept private and within the group. And that was part of the agreement that I sent letters to them all as well before we did it. That whatever happens, there's no videos, no social media. This is between us, and you can do what you want, but be respectful to the staff that work there, be respectful to each other. We are going to have a good crack, and I want you to have a good time.
The big one, though, for me is because Aaron Wilbraham told us a story which he didn't know the conclusion of, and maybe you could shed some light, was a wine gum in a toilet. And he said that you stepped out and said, if we win this game, apparently that wine gum had been there for some time, I'll eat the wine gum. And he still wasn't 100% sure whether you had one in the pocket as a replacement should they win. I mean, if you're willing to shed the light on that moment.
Chris, as you know, if you say you're going to swim it,
you're going to swim it.
You say you're going to eat the pissy wine gum, you're going to eat the pissy wine gum.
Did you eat the wine gum?
Yeah.
Straight out the tub.
Yeah.
Fair play. You're going to swim it.
Unbelievable.
That's the bit. It's not the poo toilet. It's only the wee one.
We've all done that, haven't we?
What's been a piss between friends?
We've all been there, haven't we?
Yeah, it was the there's three toilets, the urinals where the men stand up and have a wee in, and there was a green wine gum in there. And obviously no one had got it out, and it'd been in there for months. So I don't know I just said, well, we'll win today, and I'm going to eat that green wine gum from the loo. So we won. I just went and got the green wine gum and then ate it.
That's an incentive.
It's fine.
It's been one of the unsolved mysteries of this podcast.
Yeah.
That whether
Is
you
it?
actually, yeah.
Oh yeah.
One of your former players got in touch, and he said to just said to mention Dubai trips at Brentford.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. There's a few more. There's a few more, but I'll come on to them.
The Dubai trip with Brentford. There was this thing at Brentford that they were two bob players, and an attitude of we're not very good all the way around it. The footballs were crap, the discs were crap, the bibs were crap, the training pitch was crap, the hotels they stayed in were crap. And when I got there, I said to the bosses, I said, if we're going to do this, you've got to stop. This attitude has got to change. And I said, if I have to pay for it out of my own money, I will. But this attitude, this mindset cannot go on. If you treat them and make them feel like crap, they're going to play crap. I want the best players. I went, all right. So they went and bought 15 training footballs for me. And we ordered and got new discs and new bibs. And how basic is that? Mm. So when it came to a little trip...
given, wouldn't you, really?
Yeah.
Good equipment to use. You think that's an absolute given?
It's not, though. A lot of places it's like that. It's too bob crap. And for me, if you're not smart and you're not bright and sharp, healthy and doing good, then your performance is not going to be very good. And
looking good for me, is it?
No wonder you're in a fucking sack of shit.
So with the trip with that, we were away. We played away at Colchester, and I'd booked through a travel agent myself where I lived. I had to book it all myself because there was no one to book or anything like that. And when I said to the guy, we're going to go away for a few days before the FA Cup thing, it was with Sunderland, I think. He said, "Oh, where do you want to go? Tenerife or Spain?" And I said, "No fucking chance." So we want to go to Dubai. Dubai? Dubai? I said, yeah, Dubai. Dubai. He went, all right then. He said, get some prices. So I went to this lady, got some prices sorted out, twin rooms. Me and my dog's outside. Not in Dubai, he's here.
It's done a Monday.
Dubai, he's here. Can you get my dog? And so it was a quite funny story because we played away at Colchester. Obviously, the game finished at 4:45, 10:05. And the flight to Dubai on a Saturday night from Heathrow is 9:45. So you got to be there at 7:45. So that left us that amount of time to get from Leicester Road, which it was those days, round to Heathrow Airport. But I got the times wrong.
You're saying Heathrow West, London,
from Essex. But I got the times wrong, and the flight wasn't at 9:45 at night. The flight was at 8:45, and so the game finishes coming up to 5 o'clock, and it's nearly 2 hours from Colchester in a coach to. So when the whistle went, we'd won, by the way. When the final whistle went at Leicester Road, all our players ran off the pitch. They didn't shake hands.
At what point had you learned or had somebody realised that the time was wrong?
2 days before.
Right. So everybody had been instructed.
So I had a coach to drive with all the passports and the tickets. As soon as the game finished, he sped off to Heathrow to the group travel. So he put all the passports and tickets in. The subs, with a couple of minutes to go, had already gone in.
Load the bags. Load the bags.
Yes. So all the drinks containers, the warm-up balls, discs and everything had already, before the game, gone onto the coach. Everything had already gone on the bus. The subs went in. We had a rule. There was going to be no showers. So they came in, they took their kit off, they put their club tracksuit on, and they all ran to the bus. There was no showers.
We can't do press. No press.
No, didn't we? Fuck. So we're all on the bus for about 10 minutes after the game, all still covered, wet, dirty. We had food on there for the players, of course. Got ourselves round, got there about 45 minutes before the flight was taken off. Everything had been put through, so we just went straight through. So when we got onto the aeroplane to fly to Dubai,
imagine you were stinking.
There were 4 of us because the head steward on the flight or something, the manager of the flight, was a football fan. He knew we were coming. He said, "Oh, Mr. Allen, for you and your staff," there was 3 others, there's 4 of us. He said, "I've upgraded you to business class." So I said, "Fucking hell, that's all right, isn't it?" Or all of us? And he said, no, just for you and your staff. Okay. So all the players are in economy just behind us. And we've pulled the curtains and there's 4 of us sitting in the plush seats getting all the stuff. I wasn't comfortable. So I got out of my seat, went down to the front of the aeroplane, said to the, I think it was I can't remember, it was a chap. I said, excuse me. I said, I'm counting around here and this flight's pretty empty. I said, there's 20, including my seat, so 16 other seats in business that are not being taken. He said, yes, that's correct. So I said, if the 4 staff, including myself, go to economy, can all the players come up here and use these bed seats for the flight and the trip ahead, but still serve them the same food, but can they use the beds? And he said, of course, no problem. So I got the captain, Stuart Talbot, who's the most humble, hard-working, down-to-earth lad you've ever met, called him over and said, Torbs, can you get all the players and tell them they're all sitting in here and we are going to sit in there? And he went, fuck off. Fuck off. He said, we can't sit in here. So I said, yeah, we're going to go. So we got our stuff up, all those little bits and pieces you take on the aeroplane. We moved and all the players went and laid in those lounge beds for the trip to Dubai. And that's probably another one of the reasons why we had such a good team spirit and camaraderie, because we made those players feel like the absolute best. But that's an overnight flight, okay? So that flight lands in Dubai at something like 7:30 in the morning. We had taxis to walk us, to drive us, that we just had to pay for ourselves, split it between 4 of you to get to the hotel, no coach and all that. And when we got there, they said, the rooms are not ready, sir, until 1 o'clock. So he said, but you can welcome to go in for breakfast. So we took all the players in for breakfast, and then we got about 3 hours to kill. The next thing, Talbot, the captain, walks out to the side of the swimming pool, takes off his club tracksuit. He's got his underpants on. He's covered in mud from his knees.
Still doing
He's got mud all over his knees and his legs, and he dives in the pool. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. So as soon as the captain goes in, the rest of the squad, not all of them are muddy, of course, but they've all got mud on them and they're sweating.
Bro, look like Trent.
All the players are on the side of this 5-star hotel, proper pucker swimming pool, diving in the water with their pants on.
Having a wash. Washing the legs down.
The manager comes out. He says, good morning, Mr. Allen. Lovely to see you here at whatever hotel it was called. It's great you're here. And he said, is this your players out there? So I looked out. I said, yes. And he said, it looks like they're enjoying themselves. And I said, yeah, well, they're a bit muddy because we didn't get a shower. And he said, I've noticed. And we just let them get on with it. I think they were drinking beer by 8:30 in the morning. And that was it.
Could you put a percentage marker on your managing philosophy of mentality and mindset to tactics, the training, whether that's with balls or toast?
Or a Granny Smith.
Yeah. But in terms of a split in your philosophy into management, could you put a percentage line on that?
It's very difficult to do that. Everybody knows these stories that we've been laughing and joking around today.
Yeah.
I do actually coach a team as well. And some people thought he's just a man motivator. But I was brought up, as we spoke about earlier, from 15 through to 19, I think it was, by that Scottish manager called George Graham. And he taught us how to play 4-4-2 his way. What he wanted with the wide players, what he wanted with the fullbacks, what he wanted with the centre-backs, what he wanted with the 2 centre-forwards, the goalkeeper. We all knew our jobs. And if you did not do your job how he told you to do it, you didn't play. It didn't matter who you were. It didn't matter to him. Play it. And we hardly ever lost a game. We lost 4-0 away at Manchester United in the FA Youth Cup when we were one of the favourites together to win it, because Norman Whiteside, who'd just come back from the World Cup, scored a hat-trick. He was only 17. We were that good. We were the best. We never lost a game all around London. And George taught us. So I took all that. I learned all that from George. And those early games and all my teams played 4-4-2 and were hard to beat, were direct and very, very competitive and difficult to break down and to beat. And we were very, very fit. And the mindset was to win all the time. Win. And that was George. And he punished me. He was horrible to me. He absolutely broke me. Dropped me, never played. Never got into the reserve team. I was distraught. But from it, I probably came to where I am now. So all that, but then I changed after Notts County to try and play a bit of a different way. And that was a real challenge. You can imagine after George's football to playing one holding midfield player in front of the back four, 2 high fullbacks, midfield players that came and played inside, 1 centre forward with the other one that had the freedom to go anywhere on the pitch and start play off, like what we watch on the telly now. Oh my God, what a challenge. And I just made it up myself. I didn't get it from a book or from anyone new. I just made it up and tried it. Flipping out. That Gillingham team and that Barnet team, we'd done the same at Barnet, was it's an amazing feeling. And when you get to the end of the season as a champion, I always used to say, it's good to get promoted. It's great to be a champion. And when you walk out there and you are a champion and been a manager for all those years, and to be a champion, it's an unbelievable feeling. It's
worth all the rest of the shit.
Oh my God, yeah. In a 10-month competition, to come out as a champion is unbelievable. It's just the most amazing. Getting promoted is great, isn't it? It's good to get promoted, but being a champion is just different. It's just the most unique feeling. And I wanted to quit or retire by ever getting 3 championships. I don't think I'm going to probably get that 3rd one now, but to get 2 championships I'm proud of it. I really am proud of it. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I was pleased to be a player and all that stuff, but to be a champion, a manager of a champion team is first one. They've done it for 55 years, I think, at Gillingham. Can you imagine doing that? Unbelievable.
I don't know the lad, but he again I think he retweeted what we put. Bradley Dack, who I'm guessing did you have him at Gillingham? Obviously, he's gone on to do unbelievable things at Blackburn. He's just done his knee again, I think.
Yes.
How did you deal with it? Because obviously he was a good player, but he didn't really kick on until he went to Blackburn. Would that be accurate?
No, not at all.
Brilliant.
No.
Shut up, you fucking idiot.
In terms of...
No, with Bradley Dack, we were going away to France in 3 days' time, and we never had enough players to fill the group to go to France. We played against Dagenham and Redbridge in a pre-season friendly, and it was one of those games where you had 3:30s, if you remember those games.
Yeah.
It was 0-0. There was 10 or 15 minutes to go in the last third of the game at Gillingham's training ground. And senior players had probably played enough minutes. So we needed somebody to go on just to play. He went on for 15 minutes. He nearly scored off a corner. Then he had a shot and a goal, he saved it. Then with about 5 minutes to go, he scored. So I said to one of the members of staff, "Who's that? Who's that?" He said, "Oh, Bradley Dack, youth team last year, 37 goals, midfield." I said, "He's not on this list."
Is this your first season at the club?
I've only been there 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And why is he not on this list? Really? Yeah, you don't do this and you don't do that and you don't do this and you don't do that. I said, "Okay, thanks very much." So the same day I saw him, there was a centre forward playing for Dagenham. I thought, after 5 minutes, I went, oh my God, who is that? So I walked along the touchline to a guy called John Still, you know, the Dagenham manager. So I said, John, who's that? He said, oh, that's his name's Dwight Gayle. Do you like him? I said, do I like him? I said, I can tell after 5 minutes, what a player. He went, yeah, he's a good one. I said, is there a fee for him? He said, of course there's a fee for him. What are you talking about? Is there a fee for him? The game's going on. So I said, how much is it? What is he? He went, a lot of money. A lot of clubs want him. So I got my phone out. The game's going on.
We're getting your wallet out.
Chairman, Mr. Scally in Dubai. Chairman, it's Martin. Hello, Martin. I said, Chairman, there's a centre forward playing for Dagenham and Redbridge. I said, you should buy him. I said, can you speak to the chairman and find out how much it is to get him? Chairman, I said, he is a player. He is unbelievable. This kid was leaping and heading and getting about and was quick and was sharp. And our keeper made 2 great saves. He had another shot at the post and it was like, oh my God. I tried to buy Dwight Gayle that afternoon. We bid 150 grand for him that afternoon, but they didn't accept it. And then obviously Dwight Gale's gone on to go where he is now.
Yeah. Where did he go from there?
Peterborough.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So going back to Bradley Dack, he had a knack, Dack, of getting into the box. It was Dack's knack. He would make things happen. He could make things happen, and he could finish, and he could run, and he had energy, enthusiasm, and we moved him up then into the first team group. But our first team, we won the first 9 games, so I couldn't get him in the team, and he was on the periphery. I'd put him on for 10 minutes and take him off, and I'd put him on for 20 minutes at the end of games, and he was fantastic. He was absolutely fantastic. But he was the first. He was one of those younger ones just coming in. But because the first team was so good, you can't put him in. But he was always sub. He was always round about it, and he was getting frustrated that he wasn't getting games, which is fully understandable because he was so good. And I played him 1 game and took him off at half time because we weren't playing well. But it was like any 18, 19-year-old, you come from youth team football to first team football. It doesn't always happen just with your click of your fingers. It takes time. And he needed a little bit of time just to build and grow, just like with DJ Campbell. It would have come with Brad. But we had to win games, and we won all our games. We were top of the league for the whole season. So it wasn't an ideal time to put a young boy in. If anything, I could perhaps have put him out on loan, but I knew coming off the bench, he would always be a danger. He would always help us score a goal or make something happen, because it always did when he played. So when he's gone on to Blackburn and doing what he's doing, it's no surprise. He comes
He's a
with boy. And also a great lad as well. A great lad. What other questions you got?
There's a thing as a manager where you try to help somebody, you try, and then all of a sudden you just got to go.
Yeah,
You're
definitely.
Impossible.
Yeah, there's been a few players, and I'm not going to name names because I'd never break that kind of confidentiality. Yeah, I've had players not turning up for training. I've had players. I've had players stealing cars. I've had players stealing money, and I wouldn't say it's luck, but I've managed to keep it in-house and keep it private and keep it within the group. I've had players go missing, literally missing. And once again, I'm never ever going to would reveal names to those situations, because quite often people, not just footballers, people do find themselves in bad places in life. And I found I've tried to help them and look after them rather than castigate them. And
is there always? I was about to say, is there always a way back for them?
Not really. yes, sometimes for sure.
There's a line.
Sometimes for sure. But there's been others that you just think, I just couldn't work that one out. A good example would be, Sam Sodje, a defender I had at Brentford, who'd come from Margate and used to be late for training. Sometimes he didn't turn up for training. Sometimes he had no football boots. Sometimes he had no money. He never paid his council tax. And
Is that the one who ended up at West Brom? Centre half who ended up at West Brom?
he may have done, yeah, and Reading. He'd done really well in his career. So I took him from Margate to Brentford, got about 300 quid a week. And there was a club secretary bought up a pile of, what's those documents you get from the court when they're trying to find someone? Those letters. Not warrants, but we need to speak to you, we need to speak to you, we need to speak to you sort of stuff.
All
so
the
she's
reminders.
put that pile on my desk. It was addressed to him because they couldn't find him. And or the police or the court or whoever it was, and I thought, I know I'm not supposed to, but I did. I opened them all, and there's a warrant for him. There's they're after him. He hadn't paid his council tax for X, Y, Z amount of time. So when he came into my office, Sodje, he said, "What's up, Gaffer? What's up?" I said, "These are telling me you haven't paid your council tax, and police want to speak to you. You need to speak to the police." He said, no. Don't worry about that, Gaffer. Don't worry about that. He said, they don't know where I live. I went, what? He said, they don't know where I live. He said, I don't live there anymore. He said, so they won't get me. I said, Sam, on Saturday, we are playing in the 5th round of the FA Cup away at Premier League Southampton. The game's going to be on television. There'll be a lot of police there. And I think, Sam, they will realise where you are. I don't think it's a good idea for you to hide at your friend's house, Sam. Do you? He went, no, I'll be all right. And I thought to myself, we're going to get off the team coach at Southampton, 5th round of the FA Cup, and the police are just going to take him because that's where they're going to find him. So what we did, we privately, we rang the court and said, I've got him. We'll pay you the money. So we paid his council tax over a longer period of time so he wouldn't get arrested.
Did he still think you were getting away with it?
He turned up with a disguise on.
He ain't got a clue, mate. Don't worry about it. He don't even know now. He don't even know now. He come to training one day. He came into training and the coach had got him and said, the gaffer wants to see you. I said, Sodje, why didn't you come to training yesterday? He said, I didn't have no money for a ticket. I went, what? He said, I didn't have no money for a ticket. I said, you need some money? He went, yeah. So I got my car keys, got my training kit on. It's 10:05, training starting at 10:30. So I said, come and get in my car. So I drove up onto the A4 near Heathrow Airport. There's a parade of shops, and one of the shops has got one of those things where you put your card in. What's it called?
ATM.
ATM. Get yourself some gear, yeah? An ATM. And so I've done da-da-da-da-da. He's sitting in the front seat, got my card, stick it in my pocket, took out 100 quid. I said, there's 100 quid. I said, that should sort you out a ticket. This is the week we're playing Southampton in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Oh, thanks, Gaffer. Thank you. Left it. Never got it back. A few years later, Sam's gone on to play for Nigeria and he's played in the Premier League with Reading, I think West Brom and all that sort of stuff. And I got invited to Charlton Athletic Football Club, the Valley. And as I'm walking down the slope from parking my black third-hand Mondeo, walking down, I was going to be the auctioneer on the night for this charity thing. And as I'm walking down the hill, the shiniest, smartest, best Range Rover you've ever seen pulls up slowly next to me, and it's got those wheels, the inside the wheels spin round. And I thought, whoever that is a flash bastard. As I'm walking, the car stops next to me, and the window comes down slowly. Hello, Gaffer! Hello, Gaffer! And I thought, that's fucking Sodje. Hi, Gaffer! I'm looking at him and I went, where's my fucking £100? He said, oh, I'll see you later, Gaffer. Fucking drove off. He's got a car worth more than my house. And I'm giving him £100. I'll pay you later, Gaffer. I've never seen that £100 since.
So if you're listening, Sam, get in touch.
Albie mentioned something about making the players do a dance before they went back to the room the night before a game.
Oh, yeah.
Just tell us your thinking. So you're having your tea. Is your mind always going, like, what can I do?
Yeah. We played away at Wycombe Wanderers and we went to the Holiday Inn on the M40 for our pre-match meal, which is 5 minutes from the Adams Park. And you're sitting there having your tea and toast and scrambled egg and beans. And as a manager, you've got to fucking work something out, what you've got to say to your players, which is why sometimes I just don't bother because I think they don't listen anyway. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to go for a walk. So I went for a walk, and when I went through these two big doors, that night there's some wedding reception on or something. So there's loads of tables sitting out with all the bits and pieces round. This is Saturday lunchtime, and I'm thinking, what am I going to say? And in the middle, there was a square dance floor, was made up of tiles. You know, those rectangle wooden slatty things that someone slits together, whoever that is, I don't know. You do that sort of stuff. And he slotted all these things together, made a square diamond-shaped dance floor. So I thought, that was all right. And then my mad brain clicked into place for the team meeting had been set up in another conference room, you know, all the chairs and all that bullshit, which you do every week and it's boring. So when it came to finish the pre-match, right, everyone in for the team meeting, follow me. So I took them into this wedding room. There's all flowers and all that sort of stuff and all that rubbish everywhere. And it all went quiet and they're looking at me like scary eyes. Who's the first to get on the dance floor? And they're all like, what the fuck are you on about? Who's the first to get on the dance floor? Who's going to show us some moves? And they're all like looking at me going, I said, this afternoon when you go on the dance floor, are you going to be able to show me some moves? Or are you just going to stand on the periphery and looking from the outside and see the other team doing it? Who's going to get on the dance floor? Who's going to get out there and show what you can do? Put on a performance, entertain. And they're still fucking looking at me.
So there is still
Yeah. Method.
something behind it.
And I'm not sure if I did. I think I was the first on the dance floor and I showed them some moves, I think.
Good moves.
Oh, yeah. I can dance, by the way.
I thought you would be able to.
I am a fucking dancer. I do that. I think my nephew's taught me it. I think it's called the snake or something.
Oh, yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah, the snake. I think
No,
like the
worm.
The worm. Oh,
Yes,
right, yeah.
that's my favourite.
Did you pull the worm out that night?
I know.
Border.
So I think I showed them, but after that, and it's also to break the ice as well, to break the tension, because it's a bit tense, isn't it, on a Saturday lunchtime before a football match around the place. It is a bit. And they all had to get on the dance floor and show some dance moves. I said, come on then, let's go. That was basically it, really. Yes, I did do that. And I think I danced as well, probably.
Yeah, I mean, probably spoke about it a million times before, but we've got to ask, obviously, about the Leicester experience. And was that a tough decision to go to Leicester?
No. Gordon Bennett. That's the dog, not me. Tough decision to go to Leicester. No. To go to Leicester City Football Club.
Yeah.
No. MK Dons, that was my first, I had one season at MK Dons and to get them into the playoffs was a pretty good achievement. It was a big turnover of players the previous summer and a big change of culture. And then when I got that phone call that about Leicester, it was like, blimey. And obviously I'd done pretty well at Brentford, and then the MK one. So that has been and Barnet had been good. So it had been about 5 years non-stop of being, I'm not sure if it's successful, but doing well, perhaps is a better way to put it. And then I went into a hotel in central London, big posh one, and ushered in, like a fame, back room, and spoke to the owner and someone else who was with him. Don't know who he was. And had a chat about it, and he said, well, this is what we want you to do. This is da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And we've already signed so many players. Okay, yeah, fine. And he said, and here's the contract we're looking at. So he said, if you want to take the contract, go out and have a look. He said, then we'll come back in 10 minutes and we'll have a chat. I took the brown envelope, went out and had a look into the reception. And on my way out there, I was thinking, already signed some players.
Is that a red flag for you?
Wow. Okay. Didn't like that. Yeah, red flag. So I went and sat in those nice sofas that they have in those posh hotels, got the envelope out and had a look at the numbers, flicked through it a little bit. I didn't know how much I was going to get paid. And I was like, fucking hell.
Sign as many as you fucking want.
Fucking hell. Tucked it back in the thing.
You're still thinking there's room for a bit of wriggle here?
You're doing a DJ? You're not doing a DJ?
I was losing my voice. A typing error. I said, I don't want that. I want less. So I was thinking to myself, so which players have you already signed? So we went through the list of the players.
So you've not just gone in and gone, yes, yes, I'll sign it.
Compose.
For me, it's a life changer. It's a proper game changer. And as you can probably imagine, at the other clubs that I'd been at, if I said to the boss at Barnet, I want this player, he would get him. If I said to the boss at Milton Keynes, I would get him. There was no black and white. It was because I knew every player. When I was younger, I worked scouting Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday nights every week for years to find the players. All the time. I worked all the time. So my career has not just been through luck. I've been out looking and finding players, and I've driven all over the country, service stations at 10 o'clock at night, coming from up north, all over the place to find decent players.
Is that another reason why you appreciate, like you think the wives appreciate? Because obviously your wife's been through all that, hasn't she?
Yeah, horrendous, absolutely horrendous. So I have done the mileage, and I know the players. And in those days, I don't now, but any player that was out there playing for any club, I knew them. And for some reason, I can't remember music. I don't know anything about music. I don't know anything about anything else. But when it came to professional footballers, I knew them, and it's just stuck in my head. Weird. That is weird. So when it came to Leicester, and I had a good idea then of the players and the types that I thought would be needed. They hadn't done very well the year before, so there was obviously need for change. And he asked me to come in and change it. And then I do his accent. Am I allowed to do it?
Oh, by all means.
Are you, by the way, just you know when you're going down these names, are you thinking, shit, not good, not good. All right, yeah, I'll have him. As you're going down the list that they've already signed?
No.
You're not asked who they've signed?
Did look down the list, and I didn't say, he's good, he's good, he's good.
No, but were you thinking this in your head?
I looked down the list and thought, no. So...
What you pin is a fortune, so I'll go with it.
But more importantly, we were just getting to the accent.
Yeah.
Well, when it came to the agreement, they sort of said, well, what do you want to do? And I could not walk away on a matter of principle on that, with that contract, which would have been it's kind of a life changer when you get a deal like that. So I said, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. But then there were other players to come in as well into the club, which I didn't know about. And I think it's been well documented that I had a phone call on a Sunday evening from the chief exec, Tim, and what do you think of Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink? I said, yeah, he's all right. What for? He said, well, we're in London at the Churchill. He said the chairman wants to sign him. I said, what for? Sarcastically. And he said, well, he thinks he can do a job. I said, well, we've already got 5 centre forwards. So the last time he played was when? When did he last play? He played midfield for Charlton in his last game, and he played central midfield, and he got took off at half time. I said, what, he's going to play up front for us? I said, that was about 8 months ago. Well, the chairman wants him. I said, yeah. I said, if the chairman wants him, he can tell the public that it's the chairman's signing, it's not my signing, and I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to play him, but he won't get in our team anyway. So there it is. He said, Martin, I think you should sign him. I said, well, Tim, fuck it, I'm not. Down to you. So the next night, I was in the hotel at the Marriott in Leicester. My room's up on the top floor in the swanky bit. And as you look down from when you come to the barrier at the top, you can look down into the middle of the hotel, one of those hotels. And the seats at the bottom, there was Jimmy with 3 of his mates or family or agent down the bottom. So I'm in the lift at the top. I got down in the lift at the bottom. So I came down to the ground floor. And as I came out, I walked over and said, Jimmy, nice to see you, mate. Nice to see you. You okay? I shook hands with all of them. And he said, yeah. Yeah. Good man. Good to see you. Yeah, he's a nice guy, isn't he? He's a lovely guy. So I got him. I said, see you later then. See you later. And I think the agent said to me, are you all okay with Jimmy signing this morning? So I said, well, you have to sort that out with the chairman. I said, Chairman's Football Club. So I said, whatever. He said, do you know about all this? I went, not really. I said, but hey-ho, you've got an agreement with the chairman, get on with it. And I went to the training ground. Chief exec said, Jimmy's signing this morning. I said, good luck. I said, but I ain't fronting it up. I said, he ain't for me. I said, we've got 5 centre forwards. I just paid £1 million for DJ Campbell. And we also had Matty Fryatt. And we had the big centre forward, French unit. He played like Cyril Regis, God bless him. Big fella. Lovely guy. I said, we've got too many. We've got too many players. And I wanted Dean Kiley. You know Dean Kiley? Goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I wanted Dean Kiley, who I think was coming up to about 33, 34. He lived in the area. And I thought with his attitude and skills that he would be the type of character that would be needed at that time. Maybe on a 1 or 2 year deal. And we signed a goalkeeper from Norway called someone or other. And God bless him, I didn't sign him. He was hopeless. He was hopeless. And he used to let goals in and he just wasn't very good. And they paid a lot of money for him. And they paid a lot of money. There was a right back that came in from Iran. Well, when he came through the door at the stadium at 10 o'clock at night into the function room because he was waiting for him to arrive, I thought he was a jockey. I said, how you doing, all right? How are you? He said that he didn't even say hello. He couldn't even say hello. So, who am I to criticise anybody because they can't speak English? I'm certainly not doing that. So don't start thinking I'm on my aisle so I can speak loads of languages. But if you're coming over to play here, you would know hello.
Yeah.
And you'd say thank you or please. You'd make a point of it even when you was on the aeroplane. I think that'd be reasonable. And when I saw the size of him, I said, fucking hell. Chairman, can I have a word? He said, yeah. He said, everything okay? I said, he's a bit fucking small, isn't he? He said, yeah, but he plays wing back. I said, wing back? I said, fucking hell. He said, everything okay, though? I said, well, he said it'd be worth a lot of money. But I said, Chairman, I said, he's 5'6". I said, you can't have a right back playing in the Championship at 5'6". I said, that's a hell of a move. Hell of a move. He said, well, we already have the agreement in place and he's signing now. And I just couldn't play him. The rest of the players, it was fucking ridiculous.
It's a real test of character for you.
Oh, God, yeah. I'll tell you what, this is what happened. On about the third or fourth day, as the chaps will know, once you've done a few days fitness work and a few days or 10 days of training, you normally would give your players before the first pre-season game an in-house pre-season game. So you've got 11v11 and you bring up a few players from the youth team and you put them all together just to give the lads like a 45-minute go. When we had the list of players for our 11v11, we had on the list all professionals, and I had 2 staff, by the way. We had 45 professionals. So if you're going to play 11v11...
There's 23 subs.
Okay. You imagine 44 players stood in front of you to do a warm-up. I ain't fucking doing it. And that was what it was like. And we actually got a team together that was pretty good from that group. We had a good performance down at Crystal Palace and played very well and drew with a free kick in the last minute, which was a shame. And then when we beat Watford at home 4-1.
Your internal thoughts at this point, like questioning your own integrity from day one, that are you being paid essentially, well, do I have to be a yes man here?
Well, I asked my question this. I asked myself this question. With the signing of another player without my knowledge or without my agreement, do I sacrifice my values and principles for money? Or should I stand with my integrity?
Integrity don't pay the bills, does it?
Do I regret it now? What I did? No. If I had to do the same again now, and it has happened to me at a club, and I'm not going to say the club, and I'm not going to say the owner, but he signed a player on a 3-year contract behind my back without my knowledge, and I didn't want him, and he was trouble in the dressing room, and I disagreed with it, and I fell out with him, and I got the sack. Would I do it again if I went back in? I think from the values and the principles that have been drilled into me from when I was a little boy by my parents, I could not lie to myself and the paying public that come to watch, perhaps, I wouldn't say my team play, but watch the team play that I put together knowing they've got a liar running it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
A yes to your philosophy, take the money and integrity doesn't pay the bills. I get that. I'll pay the bills knowing I'm a liar and a cheat. I can't do it. I will never name those people that have done it to me, but they know who they are. They know. So I fucking told them. I fucking said it. And so they fucking sacked me.
Yeah.
Was the other player right? Was that Riordan?
Pardon?
Was it Derek Riordan? Was he involved with the Leicester? Did Mandridge try and sign him?
Another one.
So for those what happened at Leicester then, how did it come to an end?
We played on a Saturday and won 4-1 at home to Watford, who were top of the league. Played very, very well. Very good performance. Standing ovation from all the players. Fantastic. No one rang me after the game. No one said anything to me after the game. Just got in my car with my son George, the clever one, and we drove away. And he said, Dad, you're not going upstairs to see anybody? I said, no, I don't want to. I'm going home. I was happy with what I'd done. And on the Tuesday night, we played away at Notts Forest in the Cup. and I gave some cup, whatever cup it was, not the FA Cup, the other one. So the players that had not played on the Saturday, the subs, I played them in the team, which you normally do on the Tuesday night away at Forest. We had a big turnout of fans behind the goal, just a local derby. The sellout of all our supporters, big game for them against that lot. And very, very sadly at half time, one of our players collapsed in the dressing room.
Clarky.
Yes. And when we came into the dressing room, and I'm not going to go into the details because it would be disrespectful to him. How do I put this fairly, and so everyone gets a good idea of it? I came into the dressing room and Clarky had collapsed in the dressing room, and it was really, really bad. So we kept all the players out of the dressing room. Only a couple of staff came in. We had a really good physio called Dave Rennie and another one called Damien Doyle were trying to help him. And the club doctor came in as well to try and help him. I think the score at the time was 1-1. But after we'd witnessed what we'd seen, there was no way that I was going to go out for the second half with my player in that. I think it's been well documented. He was not breathing.
Which Clark is this, by the way?
Clive.
Clive. Left
He was on loan
sider.
from Sunderland. He was on loan from Sunderland. Or...
Correct. Diamond. As a bloke, absolute diamond. So, blah, blah, blah. Whether to play the second half or not was... Did we play the second half? I didn't want us to play the second half. None of the players wanted to play the second half. They were all crying. That, it was their teammate, and he was,
in a bad way.
Yeah, bad way. So in the end, he got taken to the hospital. We didn't play the second half. The game got cancelled. I went back on the team coach, in touch with the physios. He was breathing again, so he was okay, but he was alive. Went back to Leicester. Got in my car, drove straight back to Nottingham to the hospital to see him. On the way, I'd contacted his girlfriend and his parents, and they were now on their way down from Sunderland, I think they were living. So I met them at the hospital at 3:00 in the morning. So I hadn't seen Clive, obviously, because you're not allowed into intensive care. So I just sat in the corridor waiting for his parents to come. One of the secretaries had arranged for a hotel for them three to stay in that night. And I waited there till they came, settled them down, spoke to the consultant. He's alive. Next morning, I got a phone call I drove back then to Leicester, got back into Leicester at 5. And got a phone call at 9 a.m. And I was sacked at 9:30 at the stadium.
Wow. Shit.
Jesus. How did he sack you? Phone himself? Or?
No, over the desk at the stadium.
Yeah.
All three of us were called in, myself, my assistant and my sports scientist. Brilliant. Both of them brilliant people. And we actually arranged for all the players to come to the training ground for 9 a.m. That's what happened. We got everybody in because I'd spoken to somebody who deals with trauma in incidents. And he said, the best thing you can do is get everybody in, round a table at the training ground and talk to them all and let them chat straight away to get trauma out.
Yeah.
There's nothing, obviously, I've ever experienced or managed or knew how to cope with. And he's an expert with the pro license, with the doing the pro license for the UEFA. So I said to him, what the hell do I do with all the playing squad? Because, he said, get them all in. So I'd done all that at 9 o'clock. I finished that about 9:45 and I had to get to the ground for 10 o'clock and then he sacked me. And I was affected badly, mentally.
Do they give you a reason?
No, never do.
Just, I'm really sorry, but we're relieving you of your duties.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that in a document, and you have to go, off you go. And then I wasn't very well mentally, in a bad place for quite a while. I had to have time off. I had to get professional help.
Is this the first time you've been sacked?
Yeah.
So it's the first time you've been sacked?
Yeah. But it was also the trauma of seeing my player in such a bad way. I mean, I guess we've only sort of been together for a few hours. But if you were going to be with me, you know, I would look after you. And I would stand by you, whatever, if you're going out to play for me. Would that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would hopefully build a friendship and a bond that I'll be there for you. I would be there for you. Whatever fucking happens, I'm going to be there for you. But I'd had that for like 5 or 6 years of all my players. But then just to be told, you're sacked. It didn't matter. I had a good payoff, but it was relevant. The money was totally, it knocked me badly.
Did you feel like exactly what you just said? Did you feel like that took away you being able to be there for the players when they needed it?
Well, I had to just leave the players. When you leave as a manager, you can say goodbye to them, you can ring them up, or the players normally ring you. But like I said, there was 44 players. So as a manager, as you know, is the door open for the dog? Oh no, it's okay. As a manager,
were those integral players that were involved on that day?
You are okay normally with 11 players. You're good with 11 players because they're playing. The other 5 or 6 are like, oh, you don't play me, don't pick me, can't believe he's not playing me, should have put me on as a sub early, I'll fucking show him. There's about 6 of them. And there's probably another 6 that don't even get on the subs bench who are probably not happy. Well, you just work that out when you got 44.
You have a hell of a lot of...
Yeah. I suppose I meant those players that were there that day and experienced that trauma, and you having, you're building that relationship with the players where you want to have that personal relationship with players. That's kind of been taken away then.
Oh yeah. Well, you basically, when you do get the sack and you've got this camaraderie that you build up with your players, it's weird because it's closed off. And then the next day, you wake up and 7 o'clock in the morning to go to training and be the first in. It's 7 o'clock and you don't have to go in. And you don't say, oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. How you doing? What do you think we should do today? Because your mind's active. What training should we do? How should we set it? Should we get it intense or should we fucking have a laugh? Should we have a good day today? Or what sort of day do we have? All of a sudden you sit here, like you come looking out the window and think, what shall I do today? Cut the grass?
Is that the first time that you've been in that situation? Because we spoke to a lot of lads in the past when they've finished playing and they feel that.
Yeah.
And you've gone straight from playing into coaching, into management, and then that's the first time.
I didn't go straight into, when I finished playing, I didn't go straight into this, into coaching and managing. I was a gardener. Yeah, I've been a gardener.
So thanks for great research.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a gardener in Gerrard's Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have any money and I didn't have anything to do. And I was a gardener for 5 months. And Alan Pardew rang me on a Thursday night and said, can I meet you? I'd been collecting up leaves from people's houses in Gerrard's Cross, all the posh houses, big houses in Gerrard's Cross. All the posh people lived there. And I put a blinking sign in the newsagent, 10 years experience as a gardener.
10 years experience.
10 years experience as a gardener, call this number, just moved to the area looking for new customers. Within half an hour, I had about half a dozen. So one of them I found out was, I used to go, I do know my garden, I do like gardening anyway, I'm a bit like nerdy like that. And so I used to roughly know what I was doing. And this old boy in Gerrard's Cross, very posh, sort of used to come in and see and have a look, get me a cup of tea and all that sort of stuff. And then I saw his car come up one day and it was one of those extra long, big black cars with a flag on the top and a driver. And he came out of the house with a robe on. He was a judge. And I thought, oh my God. If he ever sees the state I've left his garden in, if I ever have to appear in front of him, he's going to put me down for about 10 years. I absolutely mullered his garden. And then there was another one, some lady at random, I don't know who she was. She said, oh, she gave me the address. Could you come and do a couple of hours? And she said, we'll see how you are. 15 quid an hour. Perfect. So I got down there 8 o'clock. and it was a gate. There was a gate here, and there was a pathway going straight to the front door. And either side of the pathway, there was a little flower bed on each side. So I started by the gate, and I got my little handful and a bucket, and I'm getting all the weeds out and putting them in. And 8:05, the front door opens. Bloke walks out with a Mac on and a briefcase, walking down the pathway. So I just moved to the side a little bit so he could go by. And he carried on, got to the gate, opened the gate, went out the gate, came back to the gate, opened the gate, stood in front of me and went, "You're Martin Allen." I went, "Yeah." He said, "I'm a West Ham season ticket holder." I went, "Oh, hello, nice to meet you." He said, "I thought you said you had 10 years experience." So I'm on the floor, kneeling down, looking up at this bloke, all suited and booted, proper pucker businessman. I went, and I sort of grinned at him. He went, "I'm going to work." And he walks off and fucks off. So that's what I used to do. I used to do people's gardens. And yeah, when Alan Pardew rang, black bags and getting, all those leaves that drop down, I used to just rake them up and get rid of it and do people's lawns and the edging just to get a bit of money in, but also to stop myself getting bored.
Yeah.
And when I finished playing football, I was also thinking about how am I going to make a living? So if you do get about half a dozen 10 houses in Gerrard's Cross, you can earn a decent living because at the time it was an option. Yeah. Because when you finish playing football, it's very dark. It's some dark days, difficult days. And, it's not easy. It's not easy.
I want to ask what you were, when the cameras are off, when you feel like you could be yourself, that you take your tie off at the end of work, what are you really like when you're at home with a family?
Quiet. Walk the dog a lot. Rest. Do the garden. And believe it or not, my garden has been my out, really. Because from such a young age of being a professional footballer, and people smile when I say I was a professional footballer at 8, I was. Friendships were secondary to me and to my life and how I was brought up. So I've never had that many friends. I've got people that I know. And since I've stopped managing, I've got a lot more friends now and close people that have been really good to me. Been starting a new kind of life, really.
Do you think that's because you can switch off, you can put that, it almost is a character, this mad dog, you can leave that behind you and then you feel like you can be yourself a lot more.
Well, I haven't worked, I don't think now, for about 2 years. And I do, there's a gym class that a consultant told me to do called Body Pump, which is weights to music and someone at the front, and you copy all their stuff. And the consultant told me that if you do all this stuff, it'll be good for the strengthening of the muscles around your heart as you get older, which is important. So I started to do these classes. Anyway, I'm at the back, rubbishy, and I think maybe a few of them know me in there, but I've been doing it for 2 years, 2 or 3 times a week. And then in lockdown, one of the ladies, WhatsApp groups. Is it called WhatsApp or WhatsApp?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp group. It's a WhatsApp group. So I'm in that. And we go out for bike rides a few times a week in pairs normally. And I've known her for 2 years. And she said to me the other day, "Oh, so were you a footballer then?" I said, "Pardon?" She said, "So did you play for West Ham?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh." And I loved it because probably for all my life, where I live now, I'm out in the country and I'm sort of away from everybody and everything. It's a different kind of life. And no one ever says to me, "Oh, hello, mad dog," or it's kind of just...
People appreciating you for who you are rather than
as a person,
initial
yeah.
perception
Yeah.
of, oh, he's a footballer, he's a football manager.
So it has been a massive change.
Was your energy sapped from your last job, the Chesterfield? with what happened? And
yeah, and having to move as well, that didn't help. Yeah, and that club can be a big club, by the way. And I had a vision for that club.
a lot of fans saw that vision. But just going off the comments that we got,
yeah,
they saw the
100%.
vision, they saw everything you were trying to do. I think a lot of people just wanted to know why it didn't work, basically.
The player recruitment was not as good as it should be. There's a reason the club's had 2 relegations in 3 years. There's a reason the club's had so many managers in such a short space of time. And they should have left that with me. Some of those players weren't good enough, but they weren't on long deals. And the players that I've signed are still there.
Yeah.
The good ones. And there's some of the others that have been let go. But when you're on a total recharge of a club, how much did I save that club a week? 17,000 a week. £17,000 a week. For that level, that's
getting on for £500,000.
That's a lot of money.
The resident mathematicians turned up again.
It's a lot of money and a lot of turnaround. And I had to tell all the players they were all free to go. You lose your top goal scorer. As soon as you lose your top goal scorer, you're always struggling. He went to Notts County, got 100 grand for him.
It's getting up towards 800 grand, by the way. I'm getting the maths wrong there. A year.
So it's a lot of money. I saved them an awful lot of money. I'm really, really pleased the new manager is doing well, and they've got new owners as well. So I'm really, really pleased for the people of Chesterfield, because to see their club's demise as quickly as what it has for those people, shocking. Sad, very, very sad. Does it make you want to fight back and come back and do it all again?
If it were the Leicester contract, I think you'd have a bash at it, wouldn't you?
Well, to be fair, with that Leicester situation, I think everybody would have to agree. I laid the foundations for them to win the Premier League. What are you fucking laughing at stuff, mate?
Do you look back on that Leicester situation with a bit of pride, though? The fact that, do you know what, it was your integrity was probably your demise at Leicester.
Let me tell you something, you ready? I'm not sure I've ever gone public with this one. I'm not sure I'm going to answer your question, but it's something that just flipped into my mind. It was important at the time to try to build some spirit amongst the players and the lot of staff at the stadium. Okay? So it was well publicised.
Non-playing staff.
Non-playing staff. So people in the club shop, people of the groundsman, and all behind the scenes. A lot of staff at Leicester. So what we did, we trained half an hour early one morning, had lunch at the training ground. No. And then all players met with all the ground staff, and we had a big buffet upstairs for everybody to mix. And so what we did was 4 players or 5 players would each go in their groups to different parts of the ground or the stadium to work in, say, the marketing or the commercial or the the journalists, the media, the groundsmen, the people in the club shop, the people in the ticket office, the people in the cleaning. So we had players to go to all different sections, and there'd be like half an hour, even if you just sat there and chatted with the people, the 5 of you engage. When I left Leicester, someone wrote that I made the players clean the toilets at the stadium, and that was one of the reasons they sacked me.
So basically just using a situation and just making a story of what they want from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole intention of why you've brought everybody together.
Yeah, bring
it's
this like a community.
And look at Leicester now, they are that, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely galvanised, top to bottom. The owner is with them. The manager's right with them. and it has been for years. Do you want one favourite one? When we were at Leicester, the chairman, Mr. Mandaric, he took us to he paid for us to go to Troon in Scotland.
Golf course.
Yeah. And there's a hotel there overlooking the golf course, the 18th. When I love golf, like, I was like, wow, what a great place to go. I've never been anywhere like that before. Lovely hotel. And anyway, we had a nice training centre. We'd go and train. And then we trained like a couple of days, a couple of afternoons or 3, whatever, a day in the training. So on the last night, we allowed all the players to stay up till about 11 o'clock and have a few beers before the flight the next day home. And then when the players had gone to bed, we all play cards or spoof or something like that. We're overlooking the 18th green at the Troon. I lost the card game, and the forfeit was for the loser to go out of the hotel, across the little lane, which is like 5 yards wide, through the bushes, which was the rough, onto the fairway, go down the fairway to the 18th green at Troon, get the 18th flag and bring it back, and we'll take it with us back to Leicester, right? As I was like, this is us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, in the war films.
William Wallace.
Yeah, like that. So we all thought it was a good idea. There's about 10 staff. I lost. I had to go out and get the flag. So just as I crept onto the green, right, as soon as you stepped onto the green, the floodlights went boom. It was like a scene from The Great Escape. There's no cameras and all lights looking at me. So I was going to run back, and I grabbed the flag and run with it.
You got the flag?
Yeah.
Did you say you're going to swim it?
So I'm running down. They're all in stitches of laughter because all the lights gone on. And it's caught me. I'm caught red-handed. So I went in, got it. Physio, get it in your room, put it under your bed. Perfect. So when we got it back to Leicester, we put the flag in my office behind my desk as our memento of our trip. When they gave me the letter telling me I'd been sacked, one of the articles, there's about 9 things I'd done wrong. One of them, only 9, one of them, number 7, was stole flag from Troon Golf Club.
So they had I hope they had the CCTV footage.
I tried to put it as gross misconduct. So when you're in this situation, the League Managers Association, they come down and represent you, and you have to sit down and you show them the document. So you're sitting there going through it. They said number 1, yeah. Number 2, yeah. Number 3, nah, it's a load of rubbish. Number 4. And he said number 7. They said, what's that? I said, I nicked the flag off the fucking green.
Guilty as charged.
I said,
You're going to have to push that one on the carpet.
And I said, do you think we'll have a problem with that one? And he said, I don't think so. He said, just give them back. He said, did you do it? And I went, yes. So that was one of the points, the 9 points of me getting sacked at Leicester.
Oh, tremendous, man.
Brilliant.
Great times.
All the best.
Yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate that.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
It's been lovely to have you all here.
I wish I'd have played for you.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have got through that edge.
Eh?
No chance.
Fuck off. I wouldn't have done, just because I was that slow, I'd have been at the back. It'd have all been brought down by then.
After you, lads.
No, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. Thank you very
You're
much.
all driving back now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Designated driver.
I am.